You guys, we might have been wrong about this the entire time. I think Caitlin Clark is going to play in Unrivaled. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita and welcome to the Courtside Club. I can't believe I'm making another video about Unrivaled. We still have like 3 months before that league even begins, but just in the past 48 hours, there have been some new updates and I'm starting to change my mind on whether I think Caitlin Clark is going to play or not. I'm starting to lean toward we might see her in this league. So let's first start with the players that they have announced in the past 3 days. So they have announced Lexie Hull, Kate Martin, and Aaliyah Boston. Now, before this, we had not heard of any Indiana Fever players playing in Unrivaled, and I was kind of under the impression that nobody from the team was going to play in this league. I thought that the core was going to stay together and they would be doing something else during the offseason because we hadn't seen any players join. Now seeing Aaliyah Boston and Lexie Hull, who are two major players on that team and who are also so close to Caitlin Clark, I feel like there's something. There might be something there, you guys. Now, also, just yesterday, Nafisa Collier announced that they would be expanding the league from not only 30 players to now 36 players, and there will be 6 teams in the Unrivaled League. Now, her reasoning as to why they are expanding the league already is because they reached their financial goals, which to me doesn't make much sense because they haven't done anything yet. No games have been played. We heard about their television deal that they did, but unless she's talking about like new brands that came on board or new investors, I'm not really sure. I mean, she was very specific in the language that she used, so good on her. But we don't have all the information as to why they reached these goals, how they reached these goals, but they have expanded from 30 to now 36 players. So that means that there are more spots open for possibly somebody like Caitlin Clark to play. Now, with that news, Basil, who is Nafisa Collier's husband, here is what he had to say about the league. He is also president of Unrivaled. He said, "We're always going to have a roster spot for Caitlin Clark. We are not applying a full court press the way people think. We are letting her decompress from basketball. She knows that we have a spot for her when she's ready." So with this, it seems like he is trying to calm down the media just a bit, because I think when we heard about the messy deal, when we heard about the full court press that Unrivaled would be pushing onto Caitlin Clark, it seemed like they were really hounding her, really begging her, that there were negotiations happening. So I feel like maybe he's saying this just to kind of cool down the media buzz. However, there is a conflicting report with Sports Business Journal because they have said multiple things about this deal that might possibly be happening with Caitlin Clark. So firstly, they reported that Caitlin Clark is leaning 60-40 toward joining the league. And it has also been reported that Unrivaled 3-on-3 League offered Caitlin Clark significant equity in the league and a salary that is over $1 million. So this is the first time that we've heard of any money being thrown at her. We've heard that it would be a major deal. It would be a similar setup as to what Messi got, but this is the first time that we're hearing anything about money. So obviously it is going to be in the millions that they offered her. Again, these are just reports, but this is the rumors that are swirling now. There was also a report that is unconfirmed, so I just want to put that out there, that said that the Indiana Fever aren't crazy about Caitlin Clark playing in this league. And I kind of understand that in a sense, because the risk that you run with any offseason basketball, whether you're playing organized overseas or you are just playing in pickup, is obviously injury. Caitlin Clark is the star of the Indiana Fever. That is their core piece. That is their gold. They need to protect her the best that they possibly can. However, the Indiana Fever cannot offer her that much money right now. The WNBA cannot offer her that much money right now. So if Unrivaled is a league that is offering her millions of dollars to play for less than 3 months, then that seems like, you know, a much better offer than even playing in the WNBA. However, the WNBA is that anchor that Caitlin Clark will need to play in for the entirety of her career. So there are whispers, there are rumors that the Indiana Fever do not want her to play in Unrivaled. Which brings me to something that I've also been thinking about, and I've told you guys in the past that I do work with the Big Three. Now, the Big Three has struggled for the entirety of the league, for the entire time that it has been a league. They have struggled with getting certain players to play in that league, and there has pretty much been an unspoken block from any NBA players, current NBA players, from playing in the Big Three. The NBA has been very tight with what they allow their players to do and what their players can and cannot do. It has been unspoken that they cannot play in the Big Three. Now, the Big Three runs during the summer, which is during the NBA offseason, but they have never had any current NBA players to play in the Big Three. Now, it wouldn't make as much sense for current NBA players to also play in a league that travels every weekend. It doesn't make that much sense, especially when these NBA players are making millions and millions of dollars during their regular season. Most of the guys take an extended break and then start ramping up before the next season. But it will be interesting to see, firstly, how well Unrivaled does. If any players get injured during this season. We have already seen injuries from other players who have gotten injured overseas already because they came straight off their WNBA season, went overseas, got injured there. But it will be interesting to see how well this league does, how much these women get paid, if there are any significant injuries. What is the chemistry of the women in this league? What kind of drama or not drama starts within this league, because we have seen so much drama across the WNBA. It will also be interesting to see how many players who play in this league link up and play together in the offseason, because one thing that came to my mind is, okay, if Lexie, if Caitlin, and Aaliyah play together, and maybe Kate, what if all of these women are on the same team in Unrivaled during the offseason? Does that give them any sort of advantages? Will it give certain teams certain advantages because these women are able to play together in an organized style that's a little bit, more than pickup would be? Will it be an advantage if that's what you decide to do during your offseason, is to kind of link up and play on these Unrivaled teams together? How will the 3-on-3 full court game translate? And I think while I'm asking all of these questions, these are all the things that are unknowns that we don't know about, which is why it is an added risk for Caitlin Clark to jump into a league like this that hasn't been established yet, where there still is questions, where there still is always going to be that slight risk of injury. With all of those questions even in the air, I am starting to think that there is a greater possibility that Caitlin plays, and here's why. One, as we know, Caitlin Clark's a psycho. She loves basketball. She has that Mamba mentality. So I find it hard to believe that she will take an entire offseason off. And I know that she has joked about becoming a professional golfer, but I don't think that that is her end goal. I don't think that she will take the entire offseason off of basketball. So where does her basketball play factor in? And I wonder if it's starting to be something that's just a little bit more enticing for her. Now Lexie's playing, who's one of her good friends. Now Aaliyah's playing, who's one of her good friends. Now Kate's playing, who's been one of her good friends for many years. Would she want to link up with them, go hang out in Miami, play some basketball? She's going to be competitive on the court, and in turn make millions of dollars. Now, something I've also realized recently is that Caitlin and Napheesa Collier have the same agent. Does that necessarily mean that they both will be doing the same things? No, but it does mean that they have more of a direct line of communication than Caitlin might with some other players. Now, Napheesa being one of the co-founders of this league, that would be, she's in the family. They're in the family together. They have the same agent. So there's an easy line of communication. And I'm sure the negotiations between Unrivaled and Caitlin are going to go a lot more smoothly when it's kind of an all in the family type deal. So I wonder if that comes into play at all with Caitlin's decision, or how much money that they can get out of it, or what that kind of business looks like. It's all at this point just become so interesting. It's become quite a mystery. But as the days goes on, as the players that they are announcing continue, as I'm seeing these little reports of, oh, Caitlin's leaning 60-40 now, I think that there is a much, much bigger chance that she plays in this league than we ever thought was possible before. So once again, you guys, hopefully this is the last video that I'm making about this until there's actually some sort of announcement or whether she's playing or not, we hear something concrete. But you guys definitely let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think we're gonna see her on the court? Would you like to see her on the court? You guys let me know in the comments below what you think. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course, click that little subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. wnba.